And tonight in Hannity's America, more on Chaz Freeman, the Obama administration's problematic pick to head the National Intelligence Council. Now, he's the man who called the Chinese crackdown in Tiananmen Square, quote, overly cautious. And until recently, he ran an organization funded by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Well, the saga continues. Washington Times reporter Eli Lake reports that an independent inspector general will now investigate Mr. Freeman's foreign financial ties, which includes serving on the International Advisory Board of the China National Offshore Oil Corporation, which has invested in countries such as Sudan and Iran. Now, Freeman's appointment is drawing fire from both the left and the right. The deputy chairman of the National Intelligence Council under President Reagan, Herb Myers, said, quote, "Can you imagine if I had stood up and explained away Tiananmen Square? He does not have the intellectual firepower to sort through the intelligence and reach a plausible conclusion." The Washington advocacy director of the left-wing group Human Rights had a similar negative take, saying, quote, "It would be wise for President Obama to weigh the message sent by choosing someone who so consistently has defended and worked for the clenched fist that the president so eloquently challenged in his inaugural address." You know, I think I remember the Obama campaign criticizing McCain advisor Charlie Black for lobbying for that very same Chinese oil company. Now, their hypocrisy would be astounding if it weren't so predictable. And tax chief Tim Geithner testified before the House Financial Services Committee today, and he spent his time telling the committee members how responsible and even cautious the president's giant budget is. Now, for that, he is the subject of tonight's liberal translation treatment.
Now, the first step in addressing our nation's fiscal problems is to be honest and candid about them. This budget breaks from the past by transparently presenting the stark fiscal challenges facing the American people. We include the cost of fixing the AMT each year. We include reimbursements to Medicare physicians. We include the likely cost of future foreign wars and natural disasters. And in an abundance of caution, we include the potential need for additional financial resources to get credit flowing again.
All right, Tax Chief Geithner, you wrote the largest budget in American history. Spare me the talk about how abundantly cautious you are. Now, the drug war in Mexico continues to get closer and closer to the U.S. border. Now, a recently released video shows a reporter caught in the middle of a vicious gun battle between a heavily armed drug cartel and Mexican police forces. Now, take a look.
Esta frontera es Reynosa, el enfrentamiento entre fuerzas federales y lo que viene siendo prácticamente alguna célula de delincuencia organizada. El armamento que usted escucha en este momento es un enfrentamiento entre fuerzas federales y delincuencia organizada.
Now, that sounded like a war zone a world away from the U.S. However, this one happened in the Mexico city of Reynosa, just footsteps away from the state line of Texas. Now, the reporter on that video, Miguel Territza, and his cameraman, Juan Partida, they were unharmed despite their close proximity to the gunfire. However, according to authorities, at least 10 were killed in this very frightening incident. Now, it's time that the president and the leaders in Congress find the courage to address this problem before that gun battle happens in neighborhoods across America. And a gridiron rivalry may end up costing Democratic Representative Diane Watson her seat in the House. Now, several weeks ago, Ms. Watson, a UCLA graduate, introduced a bill honoring her alma mater's arch rivals, the USC Trojans, for their 2009 Rose Bowl victory over Penn State. Since that time, according to Politico.com, Ms. Watson has been targeted by an extensive internet campaign courtesy of angry football fans from her old university, UCLA, and some have even gone as far as calling the Congresswoman a traitor for her gesture of scholastic bipartisanship. And one Bruin supporter said, quote, "This legislation is the wrong message at the absolute wrong time. Rome is burning. Representative Watson, are you going to be Nero?" Well, let this be a lesson to all elected representatives. Never, ever turn your back on your alma mater, especially when its fan base is in your congressional district. And right now, by the way, on the Great American Blog, we're going to tell you all about how Hannity's America comes to be every night. Just log on to the Great American Blog. It's at foxnews.com/Hannity to get all the inside details on this segment from start to finish. In the meantime, that is the news tonight from Hannity's